Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And boy, was yesterday hard, nearly 30 videos. Well, we've got a bunch more today, and I promise you, not one of them will be about the COVID inquiry. I've had quite enough of that, thank you. We do have a good selection, there's a broad range of subjects, but we're steering clear of one particular subject. But we are going to look at, like I say, a whole range of others. Now, we're going to start with justice. And it's a very weird position because Dorothy Bain is sort of moaning about the SNP's proposed reforms of the Justice Act. You'd have thought she'd been all for it. She'd have liked the idea of removing juries from trials. But apparently she's kind of against that, which is just as well because just about every judge and lawyer in Scotland is against it too. They're going to boycott it. But she's not happy with some of the other proposals. And she's saying that they need to rethink. But you wonder why. When you look at them on paper, it kind of makes more sense, the changes. But for her, it kind of doesn't. Well, say more sense with the exception of removing juries. But she's not happy with it. But we'll have a look to see why and what she proposes to do. Here goes. So, Dorothy Bain throws the SNP's justice reforms into chaos. As she says, they will see criminals go free. But isn't the saying it is better that 10 criminals go free than one innocent man is imprisoned? Who knows? The Lord Advocate, who sits in Humza Yousaf's cabinet, even though many think she shouldn't, or at least she should give up one job, because she's doing a dual-hatted job, two hats, and she shouldn't. She raised concerns over the Victims, Witnesses and Justice Reform Scotland Bill, which will scrap the not proven verdict. I think it also brings the jury down from 15 to 8. But it makes it harder to make a conviction because instead of having 8 out of 15 to be a guilty verdict, I believe it has to go to 8 out of 12. So from just over half to 2/3. Which I think is better because it isn't just a flat majority, because it means that the how can we put it, the level at which you have to persuade someone is a lot lower at 8 out of 15 than it is out of 8 out of 12. It gives the prosecution more impetus to make sure they get it right. Anyway, Scotland's most senior prosecutor has blasted SNP proposals to reform the justice system in a huge blow to the plans. And I say not only that, but I would say the judges and the lawyers are against some of the aspects of it too, and they everyone basically is complaining. But of course, it's the sort of thing that it's been ill thought out by the man who proposed it, and nobody is surprised at that, of course, when you consider who proposed it. Anyway, Dorothy Bain, KC, who sits in Humza Yousaf's cabinet, warned changes proposed by ministers to the jury system could make it far more difficult for people to be found guilty after trial, leading to criminals being set free. She said the Scottish Government's desire to change the size of a jury and the proportion of jurors required for a verdict is very concerning. Miss Bain insisted the moves, including the Victims, Witnesses and Justice Reform Bill, are the wrong way to proceed. And she said the Crown has very profound concerns about what is proposed. So you've got the judges don't like it, the lawyers don't like it, and now sitting within his own cabinet, Humza Yousaf's legal team don't like it because you've got the Lord Advocate doesn't like it. She is the what do you call it, counsel, I suppose, to the SNP government. She's their lead counsel. She's the one who advises them on the legality of things, and she doesn't like it. It seems this bill is despised by everyone except the people trying to bring it in. Who knows? She made the comments to the MSPs on Holyrood's Criminal Justice Committee, which is scrutinising the legislation. If passed, it will scrap Scotland's controversial not proven verdict, leaving just guilty and not guilty verdicts open to juries. But while currently an accused person can be found guilty if 8 members of a jury of 15 agree it is the correct verdict, the new law requires 8 out of 12 jurors to support a conviction. Miss Bain told the committee the changes in relations to jury size and the majority are very concerning, and that they would to my mind, make it far more difficult to achieve a conviction in the type of cases we're so concerned with here. And by those, they mean sexual cases, and sexual assault. The bill has been introduced amid concerns over the low levels of conviction for R and other sexual offences. They're the ones she was talking about. This won't change anything. It doesn't change a thing. If the prosecution fail to prove that the accuser's done it, then the prosecution have failed to prove that. And ultimately, that's the society we've chosen to live in, where you have to prove someone's guilt, not assume it and prove their innocence. This isn't a problem for the jury. This is a problem for the prosecution, surely. Anyway, the Lord Advocate said that for acquaintance R's, including a single accused person, there's a very low level of conviction rates. Excuse me. She told MSPs, I consider that the changes that are proposed will make it more difficult to get a conviction in the type of cases we're talking about here today. Currently, the system we operate is one of a system of simple majority based, where there are 15 juries. We're going to be increasing the percentage required for that jury to find a guilty verdict. That's up to 2/3. But if the prosecution have the case, have the evidence and present it well, then that shouldn't be an issue. Otherwise, you'll be looking at the point where one single juror can decide a case, and it may not be decided on by the evidence, but it may be decided on, well, I don't like the look of him. The Lord Advocate explained the Crown Office is concerned that while the new system would require a 2/3 majority of jurors for a guilty verdict to be returned, there is no similar requirement for not guilty verdicts. She said in other jurisdictions that operate a qualified majority or requirement for unanimity, this applies to the returning of both guilty and not guilty verdicts. And the provisions in Scotland would be unique in requiring only majority for guilty verdicts. Well, I know in England you can be you can be found guilty on 11, I think it is, isn't it? And I think a judge can allow 10. I think at the 10 at the judge's discretion, but 11 is usually for a what they call capital crime. I think capital crimes do require a full unanimity. I'm sure there's a lawyer who watches the channel. Do please let me know what that is. I'd like to know. It's genuine request. I'm not just saying that. Is it majority in England if it's 11? Not sure. Anyway, she added, as it stands, the new law can see an accused person acquitted even if 7 out of the 12 jurors believe them to be guilty. And that would be more undesirable than the existing difficulties caused by the not proven verdict. I'm not sure I like the not proven verdict. I don't know, it's not my jurisdiction. But not proven, kind of sort of hangs over you, doesn't it? And you might well be completely innocent, but by having not proven, it's it's like a wraith, isn't it, hanging over you? I don't know. Again, let me know. Do you like it or not? Anyway, Miss Bain said and warned that it could erode public confidence in the justice system to go ahead with the 2/3 majority. I'm going to stop there because I'm going to tell you this. I think confidence in the justice system is already at an all-time low when you see someone who can R a child walk free from a court because the judge says, well, his brain isn't fully formed. And it's a 25-year-old man. And he gets a bit of community service for R-ing a child. I think at that point, the public confidence in the in the justice system is already eroded beyond any repair. So perhaps before moaning about any changes to the justice system, they start having one and start putting people away for these terrible crimes. Who knows? Is it just me? I'm sure it's not just me. Anyway, we'll round off there, come up, and we'll get this one out of the way and move on because, I say, there's a lot of stories to get through today, and I'm not doing any about the COVID coming up. I must say, I've just played that last section back, and I don't know if I sound a bit snotty, so I hope I haven't got a cold coming on. But do bear with me if I do. Can't help it, obviously. This is not COVID, eh? But yeah, I think Dorothy Bain is right in one thing, wrong in another. And I certainly think that the overall these changes are unnecessary generally. But I don't think why she's complaining is the right thing to complain about. I think the removal of juries from those certain trials is the bigger complaint. And I think that's the one really she should be hitting out at. Because that removes justice from the people. And justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. And just by having justice decided by a quota system. It doesn't seem to me to be justice at all. Anyway, I'll stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.